again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of the legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is my custom D&D campaign set in my custom messed up world, and the people you see below me are the people that are crazy enough to let me control the life and death of their characters. So yeah, that's fun, controlling, life and death, changing the cosmos, so stuff like that. So yeah, let's dive right into the game. On its way to the Blood Capital to report to the Blood Council, the party found a rift to somewhere dark and foreboding. And from that rift, a large shadow dragon appeared. The party was able to fight it off and kill it by becoming dinosaurs. After it was over, the party started trying to figure out exactly what was fueling this rift, seeing as every other rift they had encountered had some sort of device fueling it. They have eventually found that the water that appeared to be draining from the rift itself was actually draining to it. And after damming off enough of the rivers, they found that a cavern was actually directly beneath the rift itself. Descending down into the cavern, the party now is hoping to discover what is keeping this rift open and why it is so much larger and technically more stable than the other rifts that they have dealt with. So we were to turn. Who all is going down into the rift? Is everyone going to go down, or into the cavern?
Yeah, I'm going down.
I think all of us were, yeah.
Cool. Makes it just slightly easier for me. Go ahead and place your minis anywhere within 5 feet of the light in the middle. Because that is where you all descend from. The hole is the direct center.
Well, maybe I should get my backup character prepared.
Oh, but this looks perfectly
right.
fine. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this picture at all. So, as you all come down here, the first thing you notice is, because the room had been flooded before, the room itself is still remarkably kind of damp and humid, but there's an electricity to the air. As you could kind of look around, it's a little bit. There we go. As you look around, you notice once you get fully into the room, what you saw before from the top, where it kind of almost just looked like reflected paint or something, as you actually get fully into the room, you notice that the actual lines of this summoning circle type thing are glowing relatively brightly. They're just, the light isn't going directly upwards. It diffuses after about 10 feet, which is why you couldn't see the light from the hole you guys found.
Is there any light source in this cavern at all?
The circle itself is glowing, which is basically giving off very dim light, and there's actual light coming in from the hole in the roof. You also did notice along all of the walls there are symbols carved into it that are setting off a slight glow as well. So the whole room would be basically dim light.
Wow, I just realized, as per rules, my passive perception is now 3 because I have disadvantage on perception checks.
Yuppers.
I see literally nothing.
It's
You
not
see
that
the
you're
lights.
blind, you're unobservant.
Yeah.
So you see a lot, you just don't quite put two and two together. Hopefully you guys aren't relying on him to be your, first warning.
I'm the best scout there is.
As you all look around the room, you notice the summoning circle itself is incredibly intricate. Probably the most advanced summoning circle you've ever seen. There are 5 smaller circles that make up the larger circle, and in each circle there is a body. Outside the summoning circle itself, there are 4 orbs that are floating in the air, glowing.
I'm gonna take this time to cast Mage Armor on myself finally.
Okay.
Yes, I was gonna.
Spells in the middle of a summoning circle. Why don't you roll me a concentration check and a con save?
Okay,
Just kidding.
well... okay.
I was like, wait, I have
He's doing that. I'm
advantage?
gonna run.
You're like, and I'm done. Have fun, guys. It was great to traveling with you. I'm gonna go, find a nice girl and start a family.
Every party
far
dreams of
away
being...
from adventuring.
I figured out his name. It's Spurt.
Come on, guys. Every party dreams of a TPK by a wild magic sorcerer, okay?
Um,
No.
no.
I already fireballed this once.
Are there is there any writing, or is it all arcane symbols?
Make me a perception check.
Okay.
And if you don't have the dark vision, it'll be a disadvantage.
I do have dark vision, and that's going to. I'm just figuring out my total. Nat 20, 26.
Yeah. Looking around, you notice the walls are the closest things you see to actual writing, and as you look closer, you realize there aren't any words or phrases or anything. They are all just arcane symbols. So while there is technically writing, it's not any sort of language. It's just arcane runes and sigils.
Oh, I don't know.
I call it sigil because that's how I've always pronounced it.
Thank you.
I don't see any actual writing here. I think it's all arcane bullshit.
I guess with a 20, you wouldn't notice. Every other device you guys have found has had magic aspects to it, but there was always a physical device. This is the first time where everything here is entirely magical. There are
no pipes or anything.
No pipes, no nothing. You also see a lack of blood.
Speaking of blood, did Homeboy come down?
He's recovering up there right now. If you want him to, you can call for him, but he's not currently down there.
Yeah, he.
Can we tell anything about the body when
Sure. Go ahead and make I guess it would be a nature check. I think. You would have an advantage on this due to your blood hunter, ghost hunters stuff.
While she's doing that, I would like to walk out over here.
No, not in nature, medicine. Sorry.
Negative.
Yeah. Looking it over, the first thing you recognize is that these are vampire corpses. The second thing you recognize is they're dead, and they're not dust or mist, which is not normal for at least for full vampires.
The tagline for this campaign: not normal.
Yeah. Welcome to my medical life. Yeah, you are atypical.
Would I know any stories of vampires who died without being afraid? Would I have heard of anything similar?
To your knowledge, whenever a vampire is brought to the brink of death, they involuntarily turn to the mist and seek out their place of rest. And if they can't get there within 2 hours, they turn to dust. But it's an involuntary thing. It just happens.
I do feel like how are they down here?
Unfortunately, you can't. The normal things you would use as a blood hunter to tell like the time of death don't work on the vampires, especially like their body temperature doesn't raise or fall. Their wounds won't decay or anything like that. And again, your understanding is that the dead vampires don't leave corpses. I will mention your knowledge isn't entirely from hunting the vampires.
Yeah.
You know nothing about like natural causes of death, if they can die of natural causes. So.
How deep are we in the hole?
You're about the 30 feet down.
I will call up and inform Leopold of what we have found. Basically, magic summoning circle. There appear to be 5 what appear to be dead vampire bodies down here.
He mentions he's coming down, and he very quickly kind of repels down and starts examining the bodies.
Have you ever seen anything like this before? Or is this fallen more into the "this can't be" category?
Vampire corpse is a very difficult thing to create. You see him; he's now kind of rifling through their clothes and everything, and he's right now he's right on this one to the right, and you see him just kind of stop and then stand up. This is not good. You see him to turn to you guys, and he's holding a very small, looks like a pin or something like that, and he tosses it to you, Vala. He goes, do you recognize that symbol?
Jody freeze.
Did I freeze, or did you? Oh, my stop. Oh, please. Those of you watching at home, I have apparently lost all internet. So we're waiting for it to come back. Wow, and I just lost my Zoom too, and then I never had that happen. We'll be back after this short break, folks.
The last thing before you cut out was he found a pin and threw it to, and then that's where it stopped.
Gotcha. Hi, folks. We're back. I don't know how back we are because my internet's being weird, but if if we do cut out again, I am still recording, so don't worry. You can still watch the episode on my YouTube channel. So going back to where we were. He takes a pin, tosses it over to you, Vala. Says, "Do you recognize that?"
Oh, and do I recognize it?
Yes, it's a symbol of a house, Girard.
This would be House Girard, I believe.
Yes. Then he goes over. Gets another one and just keeps kind of tossing them to you. Merovingian, Valois, Dompierre, and Domont.
And the last house. And we'll find out who the last house is right after these messages from our sponsors.
Oh,
Damn it,
no.
did I lose visiting again? Hi, folks. We're having technical difficulties again. We'll be back soon. Hi, everybody. My internet's being weird, so if it dies again, I'm going to stop streaming and see if we can do this just via recording. I don't know if it's going to work. So, what was the last thing you guys heard?
We
Fourth out
heard,
of the 5 houses.
yeah.
Okay. The last one was Domont.
Mhm.
Oh,
So, interesting. Somebody sought out vampires from 5 different houses.
The houses don't cooperate.
makes me think it wasn't an option. It was more forced.
Yeah, I feel like that was a targeted thing.
Right.
If they were killed, there wouldn't be bodies.
Normally, yes.
For a vampire to die and leave a corpse. It's complicated, but it generally involves a willingness to die.
In other words,
if they were compelled, there'd be no corpses.
so you're saying that these 5 individuals may have chosen to sacrifice themselves for this cause?
You thought it was some kind of real vampire cult?
Well, all the portals we've come across have involved blood magic, and we've been attacked by vampires for messing with them. So this isn't out of the realm of possibility.
I am here as a representative of the Blood Council.
Right.
They are unaware this is happening.
Right. I don't think anyone who's behind this has the support of the Blood Council. This is an underhanded.
I wouldn't be so quick to that, but
well, if they had the support, they would have used it.
Just doesn't make sense. I mean, this is a huge violation of the game. I mean, this could cause entire houses to lose its status. I just don't see what could be valuable enough for anyone to do this.
Well, we are talking about the ability to travel to different planes again. And overthrowing houses may also be part of the deal.
I go over the body. Would I recognize it? I'll come in for that area.
Sure. Go ahead and make me a history check. And now I have to remember your backstory. What'd you get?
21.
Looking at this one in particular, very quickly, remind me of you got into trouble with vampires when you were younger, right? You got captured or something?
Yeah, I ran a group of friends who were raised into a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, looking at this woman, this one's a female. She does seem very familiar to you, but for the life of you, you can't place where you've seen her. But that at the time of your life is kind of where it's connecting. So you think she must have had something to do with either the capture or the escape or something.
What's happening? I want to take out. In one hand, I'm going to take out just generic bullet.
Mm-hmm.
In the other hand, I'll take out my rapier, and I'm going to walk with the rapier in front of me, just to make sure I don't run into any arcane walls or anything like that.
Okay.
And I want to head over here to see if I can't walk outside the circle.
Yeah, as you walk, once you're outside the circle, you don't really feel like you're passing through any sort of barrier. The air itself still has that kind of electric feel to it. You do notice as you get closer to the orb, the air becomes a lot more humid and kind of heavy with water. But beyond that, there's nothing.
I would like to walk over to this orb here. And does it feel like home?
It's very comforting. As you get closer to that one, the temperature rises really fast. Like, it's not even like the orb itself is hot or giving off heat. Once you get within about 5 feet of it, it's like you've stepped out of a home or something into an extremely hot day. Almost like this is stepping out of maybe like a wine cellar or cold storage kind of thing into middle of summer, excessive heat. You're even sweating a little bit.
All right, so
Hey,
that
Paul,
one.
You look a little warm. You all right?
Yeah, this ball is hot, like the fire plane. What about you? You look a little. You look a little damp. Is it
Yeah, this
over
one's
there
pretty,
too, or?
pretty humid.
I'll walk over to this one, see what it's like.
There's a bit of a breeze coming from it.
This one's drafty.
Can't see what color it is, but I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna cast light on my staff just so I have more vision.
There's actually nothing down there.
Well, it plays into my passive perception being super low, so.
Yeah, the wall itself is the thing that's glowing down there, but there's no orb or anything.
Oh god, did I find the little red button?
Yes,
Oh, no.
you found the little
Oh,
red
no.
button.
I would like to go as far away as I'm kidding.
There's no writing, but there's a big picture of like an mushroom cloud, and then there's another picture of it with someone like shaking their finger at you, and then another picture of someone like yelling, and then another picture of someone flicking you off.
Whatever you do, don't push that button.
It's just a drawing of a button. It's not an actual button.
Yeah, it's just a picture of a button. It's not even a good picture of a button, which is impressive because a button is not hard to draw.
It's like crayon.
All right. Well, I will walk over to this one and inspect this orb.
As soon as you get within 5 feet, the air becomes so dry, you almost instantly get this kind of cotton mouth. And there's almost like a grit in your mouth now where you're kind of like...
I'll back up 5 feet. So this one's earth.
I'm going to, like, Argentia's gonna tilt her head and looking at the wall around us, because the whole entire wall has like writing, right?
Mhm.
Arcane writing. Does it remind me of the map of the plains we saw before?
Ooh. Make me a Arcana check.
Oh boy, I'm great at these. Okay, I rolled a 19 and there's no modifier.
That's not bad. So looking at it, it doesn't really remind you of the map of the plains, but something about it does seem familiar. And as you think more about it, you recognize a few of the arcane symbols. They're the same symbols you have seen before in the teleportation circle at Celeste's lair. So you think they may have something to do with teleportation.
Jody, so what do I actually see in front of me? On the wall, it's that green spot on the wall at the very bottom.
Teleportation is a circle ruins. Because you know that's a spell, right?
I have access to it, but I don't know it.
Okay. Well, being familiar with... you don't know this is a spell itself, but... being it's a spell you could learn, you do kind of recognize these are effectively... this is a just very, very large teleportation circle. So if you had access to that spell and spent the time memorizing the circumference of this room, you theoretically could teleport back here using that spell whenever you wanted.
Nameless memorizing anything. That's adorable.
So these orbs are kind of like the elemental plane. The wall has something to do with teleportation. The vampire corpses are not dust. And it opened a portal to the Shadowfell. This is a bit of a headache, to me at least.
I'm gonna back up.
I'm just...
gonna throw that bullet in my hand. I'm gonna throw it at that orb.
I was gonna say I'm gonna walk towards the blue orb since it feels most... I don't know how I could word this. Feels more comforting than the rest of me.
Okay. As the bullet impacts the orb, you hear this kind of very bright ting, and it bounces off of it and it hits the ground. Kind of like you just threw a bullet at like a crystal gauntlet, or not gauntlet, goblet.
So, me being a water genasi, do I experience anything different being near the blue orb?
As you get closer, roll me a wisdom save.
Cool, I will do Tides of Chaos, so it's not disadvantaged. I don't think it'll matter. Oh, wow, okay. Natural 20, so 18.
Wow. So, as you get closer to it, once you get him within about 5 feet, you suddenly feel this compulsion to kind of stare at it. And the longer you stare at it, the more the orbit itself doesn't seem solid. It seems to be moving. Something inside it seems to be moving and rushing and changing. And you suddenly feel this compulsion to reach out to touch it. And right before you do, you kind of snap to your senses and can actually see like little bolts of magic jumping between your hand and the orb because you're within inches, and you just kind of instinctively to take your hand away.
Orbs are so powerful. I'm just gonna chill near it, but not get close enough to it to.
These are like challenge rating 30 rolls.
I would like to inspect the glowy spot on the wall, if I may.
The glowy spot on the wall is just part of the stock symbol that I used to make the map. It's not really there. There's only 4.
Got it. Okay.
Is the chair a chair?
When I
just
when I was making it, I didn't realize it was there because it was much smaller. And then when I exported the map, I'm like, oh, they won't notice that.
That's all we focus on.
Yeah.
I was just when I saw Nameless spend like 5 minutes looking at the wall, I'm like, okay, there's got to be something here.
Yeah. I mean, technically, there's a kind of a green glow all around the room.
Got it.
Not
Okay.
just in that one area, and it's the teleportations as a circle, as the symbols.
Okay.
Hey, underneath all 5 corpses, are those symbols there? Is that,
Yes.
and are they different, or are they all kind of the same?
Yes, all of them are different.
Well, everybody work in a while. I will activate something somewhere from a banner. I will ask reaffirm you recognize it
He goes around and looks at their faces. They're nobles. I've probably met a few of them. Various social functions. I was never heavily involved in the game. To be honest, I'd be hard-pressed to name a dozen members of the ruling house that I live in. I spend much more time with the Blood Guard to training them. What? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's got an incredible poker face. As to do most of the vampires.
Oh.
What is this? What is right here in the middle of the entire thing? I'm going to
The
check that.
very center is a relatively complex center of the arcane circle. Effectively, what you have here is you have 5 arcane circles that are technically their own separate things, but they also form a much larger arcane circle. And so basically the very center is basically a third arcane circle that's been circumscribed inside the larger arcane circle. There's lots of circles and geometric shapes in general.
I had a thought, but I'm not going to say it because it would be super out of character. I got to remember, stupid.
Stupid.
You so stupid! Surprise!
Speaking of stupid, I'm going to reach down, grab a handful of dirt.
No dirt. It isn't. It's entirely made of stone. And up till I don't know, maybe what, half an hour ago, it was under water. So.
Well, that busts that idea. I have another idea, but everyone may want to leave the circle first.
I'm just sitting on the outside of it because I am super exhausted.
Okay.
I would like to get into the near the center of it, and I will inspire Nameless.
Okay.
Okay.
I will I will sing. We mix the dough, we knead the dough, we let it rise, we punch the dough, we pat the dough, it grows before our eyes. Hot brown loaf from a little ball, it rises to feed us all.
Little tear.
Does anyone else notice how Commander disappears?
Yeah.
Because this is the same color as the rock.
I just saw hands and I was like, what the heck?
My plan.
Okay.
Anything else you wanted to do?
I'll look to the others. Well, I could also try dispelling something. Try dispel magic on one of the orbs.
We don't understand how it works.
That's never stopped us before.
I'll just point to the blue one. I want that one, so do it to that one.
You want that one, so you want me to dispel it first?
Yeah, I tried touching it earlier and it was painful.
Well, water is my natural enemy.
Wait, hold on. Argenta, can you... Wait, where are you on the map, Argenta?
I'm here in the corner. I have the same problem as you. I blend in.
Bottom right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bottom right.
Oh.
Can you... Since you are obviously the strongest, can you move this person at all? Not even trying to drag her far, just try to move an arm.
Okay, I'll try and move an arm. See what happens. Not lifting her off of the thing, but just seeing if I can move the arm at all.
Yeah, you are able to move it. You guys watched as Leopold rifled through their clothing to find those pins. So they, at the very least, you're aware they can move where they are. They're not frozen to the ground or anything. You haven't seen anyone move them any lateral distance, but the corpses seem to have the ability to move.
Maybe try and move her out of the circle.
You may want to try to do it with a rope.
Very good point.
Okay, I'll tie a rope around one of her arms and then get to here and just try and pull her out of the circle.
Okay. Make me a con save.
Crap.
That's gonna be a hold is 9, and I have a +7, so 16. No, +9. Got wrong save. So 8.
What was the total?
18.
8. All right. As you pull, the further away from the center she gets, the heavier she gets. So you start pulling a little harder, and once she gets to the first circle, you feel this jolt of energy flow through the rope itself and enter into to you. You save, so you're only going to take half of the 20 necrotic damage. But the rope itself disintegrates afterwards.
That didn't work.
So as usual, these things don't want to give up the victims.
Yep. That's what I was trying to figure out. Sorry, Vala. Not Vala.
It's okay.
Archita.
Apology accepted.
I wasn't talking to you.
I'll just point to the blue orb. I want it.
We know.
Going full on Han Solo now? I want this with you. I know.
I mean, my picture kind of has a blue orb. I need it.
Are you still within 5 feet, or have you gotten out of there?
I just kind of sat on the outside of the sigil and in between that and the orb, so I guess I'm still within 5 feet.
Okay. Go ahead and make me another wisdom save this time to disadvantage.
Oh, I already
You
have that
have that
already.
third character.
Uh, 9.
Yeah. As you're sitting there and you go, I will want that one, and you hear Commander go, we know. You suddenly get very upset. In your mind, you're like, I will want it, and they're not giving it to me. Why aren't they giving it to me? They must not want me to have it. They don't want me to have it because they know how powerful it will make me. They're trying to suppress my power because they're afraid of me, and when people are afraid of things, they kill them. And so this whole the thought process happens in half a second in your brain, and it instantly just clicks. I have to go grab the orb, and so you rush over and you place your hands on it, and energy just starts coursing through your body. Make me a con save.
This one I think I actually have a decent modifier. Okay, so that's still 4 plus 8, so 12.
It's not horrible.
Well, I rolled a 6 and a 4, and disadvantage. Exhaustion makes everything fun, guys.
Yeah, right?
You
My
take
abs.
to 25 points of necrotic damage as the energy just starts pouring through you. You instantly kind of let out this unearthly scream as water starts to kind of, at first, just drip slightly from the orb, and then it starts rushing out and starts more and more water starts exiting this orb to the point where it's starting to form pools on the ground, and you can't let go. So I'm going to have everyone roll an initiative for me.
This is an ability check, right?
Initiative is not an ability check.
Okay, so I don't have disadvantage.
Yeah.
But perfectly honest, I don't know, but let's say no.
So after
your
this...
character's not going to be alive much longer anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
Wow.
If we live through this, you guys need to invent one of those child leashes for my character.
I could do that, but I don't know I need to.
Keep him
One of
on a
those
short
little
leash.
harnesses. He's just wandering around. He's like, ah.
I mean, technically, I have one in my pocket. I don't know what's going on.
I should probably open up my initiative tracker. And go here.
think I have a swim speed, or else my speed, if I didn't, would have been like 7 in water.
Valo, what'd you get? You're muted.
A mighty 9.
Ah,
9.
Liliang,
13.
and then a nameless.
11.
Argenta.
6.
What was this at?
6.
6. Good, Commander.
24.
Right. Commander, you are up first in this kind of debacle. Again, you're being right next to the orb. Again, you used to have to be within 5 feet of it to kind of feel that like heavy, wet air. Now, though, there's a puddle that's already encompassing about a 10-foot radius from the orb, and that wet air feeling is now affecting you as water just rushes out of this orb, and the nameless just keeps screaming as this energy courses over his body.
Okay. And I'm assuming you're still in this spot, nameless.
Yeah, I'm just facing the other way with my hands on the orb.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's been a day since it's been used. I'll throw Nameless's leash at him.
Okay.
And so I have to make it's a.
It's a save. I tell you, I'm failing it.
I believe you have to hit him.
Yeah, I have to make a ranged attack roll.
Go ahead and make the attack roll with the disadvantage.
Okay. I am exhausted, so like double disadvantage.
There's no such thing. So.
Well, you never know.
Just disadvantage.
This thing is said. So Dex plus proficiency is plus 9. So that was 15.
Yeah.
That does
then,
hit.
To choose even or odd.
Oh crap! I'm gonna lose this already. Even.
All right. So as you throw it at him, the energy that's kind of coursing through him starts to kind of spark, and actually starts going towards the ball itself. And you see a few of these bolts of arcane energy strike the ball, and you see it start to shift and kind of grind against itself before it can open, and it gets deflected, but is otherwise in one piece and lands over here.
Oh.
Whatever is happening right now, it doesn't seem to be relatively fond of magic items.
I'm immune to attack rolls.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means.
I guess with the rest of my turn, I'll walk over and pick it up and just stand there.
Okay. As that happens, a huge rush of water explodes from it, and it forms and coalesces into a creature. That won't do anything until the next turn.
It's a good thing I
Probably
touched this one.
It's an initiative. Wow, I rolls. This is super, super good. Alright. Okay, so next up is damn, all the way down to Lillian. So where are you, Lillian? Is that you there?
That's me.
Oh, this is you.
I am.
Oh, you're way down there.
Yeah,
This
way
is
down.
smart
Yeah.
people. Yeah, you see what effectively looks like a water elemental just kind of get plopped out of this orb as the Nameless continues to howl in pain.
I will. What? I will activate my. I just do radio.
Okay. So as you pull your blade out and then nix your hand, the blood erupts into a brilliant white light.
And I will. I will take the dark side of the moon towards David and the company.
Okay. Any thing else?
No.
Alright. That ends your turn. That brings us to the Nameless. Give me another con save.
Yeah. Okay. 19 total.
You make this as a save this time. Just gonna roll it into chat because this is easier. So half of the 35 be 17 necrotic damage.
Alrighty. I'm assuming I'm locked to this orb.
Yes, your entire turn is basically just trying to resist from being ripped apart. It feels as if your very being is being just like ripped apart at like this is a cellular level, and the longer you hold on to it, the worse it gets. But you can't seem to get your hands off of it. So that's your turn. Hope you enjoyed it.
I mean, having all my characters die to orbs of water is very fitting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a theme. You know, I'm nothing if not consistent. Vala.
Let's see here. What?
Oh, you made your save. I guess you can do a wisdom save to see if you can actually let go of the orb.
Oh.
Sorry,
Disadvantage.
for some other reason, despite the fact you I said you made it. My brain kept going with no. He failed. Don't worry.
Well, you said the words that I love to hear, and that was a wisdom save. And the dice are like, you know what? I think it's about time you rolled a -1.
Remember, you are inspired. I don't think
Oh,
it'll
that's
do anything here, but
yeah, no.
so now, Vala.
Okay, I'm gonna pee on the ignition and cast Dispel Magic on the orb.
Ooh. I need a so in the Dispel Magic, they have a formula for you.
Indeed. If it's a third level or lower, it just ends.
Okay.
So, in the rare case this isn't a third level or lower...
Yes, the third level interplanar blood magic.
I mean, I'm surprised that's not a cantrip.
Yeah.
DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
So go ahead and make that roll. I believe it should be plus your spellcasting modifier, right?
Yes. For each spell of fourth level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcast. Yeah. Okay. So.
I don't think you had proficiency to this, because I think that's a wizard special thing.
Yeah,
so it's just my...
This is just your spellcasting ability modifier.
Thank goodness, charismatic AF. No. I got another mighty 9.
All right. So as you sit there and you focus your arcane abilities and basically severing the connection to the weave that this orb has. All right, I guess I should ask: did you target the orb, or did you target Nameless?
I was targeting the orb.
Okay, so you're trying to kind of rip it away from the weave. As you focus more and more on it, you suddenly kind of get this picture in your mind's eye of endless water in every direction. And suddenly, you see something moving towards you. It's large, almost unfathomably large, and it's rushing towards you faster and faster and faster. And you can't seem to move or anything. You just see this, and suddenly you feel something wrap around your arm, like a thin strand or a rope or twine or something wraps around your arm, and you feel it just get pulled, yanked out of the way, and you're suddenly back to where you were, but you instantly feel like seasick, like incredibly nauseated, very difficult to keep your feet. You actually get knocked prone for a second because you just, the whole world seems to be spinning on you.
Okay. I will then stand back up. Well, that didn't work. And that ends my turn.
As you look at your arm, though, there are marks on it, as if something had wrapped around your wrist extremely tightly, tight enough to leave bruises.
Henri? Is he alive? No.
Into S&M?
I mean, some of the stories probably.
You never know. Argenta.
Alright, so I'm gonna move.
Good.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30, 35, 40. I get to there.
Okay.
I guess I'll mark this strange creature with planar warrior,
Okay.
and then I'll shoot 2 arrows at it. That's all I can do for right now.
Okay. But because he basically has a basically has a stationary target in between, because nameless can't move. It does have half cover.
Okay. Okay. The first attack is going to be a. Why am I blinking? 18 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, and then the second attack is a good old 10.
That one hits Henri. Or not Henri. Sorry. Why did you have to say?
Freudian slip.
How about in a nameless?
I knew he was alive.
Alright, so
You guys
the
are messing with me.
the creature takes 9 force damage, and
Okay.
nameless you take 4 piercing. That's my turn.
All right. So as nameless continues to hold on to this thing, the orb itself starts to grow. At first, it was a little over like a softball shape, but since Henri started touching it, it's grown to a basketball, and now it's growing to like a really large beach ball, and it just continues getting a little larger and a little larger. As it grows, though, and expels more water, the surface of it becomes less defined. It starts to kind of mold and looks much more like just a giant bubble of water than the kind of crystalline orb it was previously. Before it can do anything, though, Commander, you're just super fast.
Okay.
Shoot one of those magic bullets. Oh no.
I want to try and see if I can't just push Nameless off of the sphere.
Sure. How do you want to do that? You can kind of just tackle him, or
yeah, do that. Whereas, I don't know. Because I'm not the strongest, but I will give it a shot. I want to try and just shoulder check him off.
all right. Go ahead and make me just a flat out just strength athletics check.
How does Nameless have higher athletics than acrobatics? What the? I was just looking at that. Like, what? That makes no sense to me.
Dang, freaking disadvantage. Athletics 6.
6. All right. So as you kind of shoulder to charge him, you immediately feel the energy that's hurting him starts coursing through you, and you don't quite have the kinetic energy to carry you through. So instead of the energy coursing through the nameless, it is now directly coursing through you, and one of your arms is just kind of stuck, drawn and stuck to the orb, and I need a con save, please.
Rap.
I mean, technically, you did kind of save him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Self-sacrifice, right?
You got another character rolled up, right?
Yeah, sure. Con save. Does exhaustion doesn't affect saves, does it?
Only if you're at my level,
Oh,
which I don't
okay.
think
Yeah,
you are.
level
No,
one.
I only have one.
It's just ability checks.
Okay, cool. 22.
That's really good. So half of the 26 is the 13.
Okay.
So you take the 13 necrotic damage as you are now connected to this ever growing orb.
Great. Just where I wanted to be.
It is fun.
And then next up is the elemental. Doesn't really know what's going on right now.
On the bright side, I can understand it before it kills me.
Well,
I speak Aquan.
to choose even or odd, nameless.
Because I have a lot of negatives, odd.
That would be a 3. So you win. It goes for Vala.
Woo!
Oh, I forgot. This is a large creature. So yeah, it's actually going to whelm you, Vala. Make me a strength save.
Ah, yes. My greatest of saving throws. That is a 12.
All right. You take the 13 bludgeoning damage, and you are now grappled and restrained as the creature just envelops you. You also are unable to breathe unless you can breathe water.
Awesome. I'm a warlock. We don't need to breathe. We can sustain ourselves on the suffering of our victims.
Sure, you keep telling yourself.
Speaking of which, I would like to cast Hellish Rebuke on it.
It's immune to Hellish Rebuke. It's the weirdest thing. What's my save?
17 dex, I believe.
Well, that's a 2.
Excellent. And I am casting this at 2nd level.
Okay.
So 3d10 fire damage.
You want to actually roll the damage?
Ooh. I almost got 3 7s. But didn't. 15 damage.
Not bad. It is less pleased to see you inside of it. But it's still a very intimate encounter. You know, you're still getting to know each other. Maybe it's going a little bit fast, but you know, it's exciting.
It is.
Get the butter ready. Got a lobster on.
And it's gonna move away from the orb with you. You know, it just decided maybe you should get out of here and go somewhere more quiet.
I don't suppose. No, my hands are on the orb. Never mind. So my warcaster wouldn't.
No, you are no longer on the orb. Commander's on the orb now.
So then would I get an attack of opportunity?
Sure, if you like.
I'm disadvantaged on everything, so Ray of Frost. Why not? Because I do have warcaster. Yeah, never mind. That's a natural 2. I believe that makes it an 11.
Yeah, 11. Not really. You kind of sploosh. You're still kind of recovering from your very existence being ripped apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liliane, what would you like to do? Commander is lit up like a Christmas tree. Vala has decided to start dating again.
I'm
Nameless is half dead.
3/4.
I may regret it, but I do it or
Okay.
Hey, it worked
This
when
has
Henri did it.
no chance of going poorly for anyone. Let's just see what happens.
that will be 16 to hit.
16 does hit.
Alright.
What I'd like you to do is effectively roll me a concentration check. It's a d20 plus your con.
8.
So as you sit there and strike the orb, the shock of it hitting it makes all the muscles in your arm seize together. You actually drop your sword. And you take 6 necrotic damage from it.
And I'm resistant to that quiet.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead and roll your damage still, because you still hit it. You just dropped your sword after.
That would be so 17 and I'm assuming the radius.
No, not for this one specifically. So as you hit it, again, as you impact, there's this shock that goes through your arm that makes you drop the sword. But as you hit it, instead of it, like you could kind of expected it to more like crack, like any other, spherical glass object would. But as you cut into it, it's kind of like cutting into like the fat of a really, really large creature. Like it's just kind of a gel, like this is substance. And the cut that you make into it is now pouring out even more water, to the point where the floor itself right now has about 2 feet of water throughout the entire chamber now, and the water just keeps coming.
I'd like to point out, shadow dragons, no problem. Small orbs, they're the death of us.
Yepers.
Yeah.
Nameless, you are no longer connected to the giant jello beach ball.
Were you done, Lillian, by the way?
Oh yes, sorry. Is there anything else you wanted to do? You technically have another attack.
Yeah, but I don't have my
You could punch it. I'm sure that'll go super well.
Is it
I'll say you can use your second attack to pick up your sword again if you want.
Alright, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Do you want to move at all?
Yeah, I'll move closer to neighbor and an elemental.
Okay. The orb makes an opportunity attack
Uh,
against you. No. Nameless. And now you are no longer connected to the orb.
So I will go my whopping 15 feet away from it,
Okay.
and I will cast, I guess, let me double check the specifications. It just says creature. I'll cast Hold Monster on the water elemental.
Yeah. Let me check. It's not immune to. Oh, okay. As you cast this spell, it seems to not have affected at all.
See, I knew that, but Nameless didn't, so I'm like, he wouldn't know to not cast this.
And you do see the like mystical bands come down and like wrap themselves around it, and it just kind of oozes out. You do squeeze Vala a little bit with them, but they disappear after giving Vala a hug.
That is my turn, because I don't have much for bonus action.
All right, that brings us to Vala. You are grappled, restrained, and not breathing.
I can still cast spells, correct? Yeah.
You can cast a spell if it has verbal components.
Okay, let me double check my plan then.
Basically, if you try to cast more than one verbal spell, you just don't have the oxygen to do it.
Why are all of my bard spells verbal?
Because you're a bard.
Bards are very verbose, you know?
We are. Well, in that case...
If you want, you can attempt to break the grapple.
That would be an action, though.
Yes, it would be.
Well...
Otherwise, things like the forced movement break.
Things like Misty Step?
Yep, that would work. Just pick out where you want to step to. I think you've got, is it the 30 or 60 feet?
I think 30.
Okay.
But that would blow my last third level. So
Misty Step is just a second.
I have no more second level spell slots.
Ah!
So instead, I'll try to fight my way out of it.
Okay. You can use Dex Acrobatics or Strength Athletics.
Why not? I will give you a D4. I'll spend my last 2 sorcery points, and you gotta roll a D4.
I thank you, and I'm going to attempt acrobatics.
Okay.
And which dice will betray me now?
That's,
Okay. Acrobatics. So 24 plus the D4 gets me to 27 to parkour my way out of it.
I got a 20 to 2. So as you're sitting there kind of gasping for air, kind of wrestling against this thing, and every time you make progress, it just sends more water and kind of folds in on itself. You eventually get to the edge, take in a big lung full of air, and then just kind of, and you pop out right next to it.
Perfect. I will then
move you out of that space.
Okay.
Because you can't actually inhabit this same space.
I'm glad for that. I will use a first level spell to cast Hex on the water monster.
Okay.
And Dexterity. well, I believe. Yeah, dexterity ability checks will be at disadvantage.
All right then. Argenta, what do you want to do?
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to first back up 5 feet and then charge linebacker, get down, Mr. President on Commander.
I really love the visual of this. You just had your bow out and you shot a nameless and the water elemental, and I just see you kind of look at Commander, go the bow back on, like step back like a kicker measuring their field goal kick, and then just go ahead and make your strength athletics.
Okay. That's gonna be
after this.
27.
27.
Commander dies.
Oh god. How much damage?
1 point of bludgeoning damage as
okay.
this wall of muscle smacks into to you, carrying you clear away from this orb. I do need a con save from you, Argenta.
Sure.
Your turn.
That's gonna be +9, so 20.
That's not enough. Just kidding. So you take half of the 30, so it's 15 necrotic damage. As soon as you touch him, the kind of necrotic energy jumps to you.
Okay, am I attacked now?
No. Your kinetic energy is enough that you just carry both of you beyond it. Technically into the wall because of how much energy you needed to get through it. So you both kind of crash into the wall. But neither of you is connected anymore. Anything else you wanted to do with your turn?
That was my action, so no.
Okay. So as that happens, the necrotic energy, as this thing keeps getting bigger and bigger, now it's like 5 foot by or now it's closer to like 10 foot, but by 5 foot it's gotten more oblong, and this energy is just kind of sparking off, and it's hitting walls. The room is getting more and more full of water, and finally the orb itself bursts, and a huge rush of water fills the room. The water elemental vanishes because it is now completely submerged. And you can't see it anymore. And where the orb once stood, another creature is standing there. Though with the water and all the strange kind of glows, you can't really see the creature itself. But it's relatively large. It looks like it has some kind of tentacle coming out of one of its limbs. It's kind of amorphous, and that is where we are going to end it for tonight. So if you were watching along, thanks for stopping by. If you missed any of the episode, I do upload all these to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Jody. If you enjoyed this, please follow the Twitch channel. I stream right now. It's every other Wednesday, but Very soon, I will be starting up another campaign, which will run on the weeks that this one doesn't run. So basically, just about every Wednesday, I will have D&D here. So follow me here on Twitch. Feel free to subscribe if you want to support me. And, subscribe to the YouTube channel because I have a lot of D&D related content there. Otherwise, that's all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.